Good.
Yeah, so it was, like you said, it was the examples of what is and what is not a sale of goods.
Did you give two examples, one of what is and what is not, or did you give one example of things that are somehow both?
No, I gave an example of, so what I did, here, I'll just read you mine. So the first one is, sorry, hold on, let me get the right one pulled up. Okay. The sale of firearms and other hunting and outdoor equipment by a merchant, such as Cabela's, would be considered a sale of goods. Paying for wedding photos is not an example of a sale of goods, but a purchase of services. Even though you receive an end product, you are paying the individual to provide their knowledge and expertise in preserving your wedding day.
Cool.
So my example was just basically an example of goods and an example of services.
I'll go next. I have 5 examples of things that are not sales of good, because in the book I found 5 things that would make it not a sale of goods, so I just gave 5 examples.
Okay.
And I gave stories for each. I don't want to read them all, but basically one is if it's a bailment, one's a lease, one's a gift, one's a if you thievery, and one's a service.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave an example of Marcus has 33 lavender vanilla scented candles and Andrea buys them. And then her house burns down. That was it. That's
okay.
very long.
You just gave examples of each one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did kind of same as John did. So I have 5 examples. I think 3s are yes and 2s are no. So one is a fruit store buys apples from an apple dealer. And one of the no's is Bob contracts to buy 50 CDs from Layla's garage sale.
That works. So I think, I'm assuming we have to come up with a question, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or well, we have to use an example and a question. Let's just give one example of something that is and one example of something that isn't.
Okay.
And then for like our question, we can do like which of the following is not a sale of a good. We could have like,
okay.
Bob is having a yard sale. Joe sells his car. Phil owns a gas station and sells gas. And then the example of one that isn't would be like...
I think it'd be easier to switch them, have which of these is a sale of good, because there were more things about what isn't a sale of good than there were about what was a sale of good. Page 186.
What's that?
Yeah, page 186 is where it talks about
Let
the
me
stuff.
set page 26 for a second, like you read the wrong
180,
spot, buddy. Mm-hmm.
And then on page 187 talks about services, and 188 talks about other things.
It also, on page 187, it has which of the following, like it has goods and services both. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So let's do one example of like what is a sale of good.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Hey.
Good.
Good timing. We were just getting into things.
Sweet.
You want to give your example of what you did?
What?
You want to give your example of what you did for like the individual portion?
Sure. Oh, I exited out of it. Hold on 2 seconds. You guys have all shared yours?
Yeah. We just finished, so it's actually fine timing.
Perfect.
Jade's was about guns, Jenny's was about apples, and mine was about candles. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so this is the example of what a sale of goods is. As Jim is turning 16 and wants to buy a truck, he spent all last year saving his money to afford an older truck within his price range or whatever. He searches on KSL.com and finds a truck he likes with low miles for a reasonable price. He calls the owner of the truck and negotiates a price. After agreeing, they meet so Jim can look at the truck. After test driving it and finding it is what he's looking for, he gives the owner of the truck cash, and in return, the owner gives him the title. So,
Perfect.
as good as sales is, and what it isn't is John wants to buy an apartment as an investment property. He finds an apartment, gets a loan, and buys it from the owner. So,
Perfect. You gave way more detailed examples than we did, but
Well,
that's all right.
all right.
That's probably better anyways. You sound like you understand it better if yours is longer.
applicable details, because mine has a lot of details about the type of candle it is and like why she wanted to buy them, but it didn't help with business.
So our idea, Braden, was just to we're just going to come up with an example kind of like what you did, because you and I did basically the same thing. We gave one example of what is and one example of what isn't. Just keep it simple. We were going to do that. And then for the question, like our question that we have to write, we were going to do like, which of the following is considered a sale of a good? So.
Sounds good. It's really easy.
And this is a simpler one. It was nice.
Yeah, this one's really simple.
So what do we want to do for our example? Just someone buys. Go ahead.
Oh, because if we do it like a truck, that's a big purchase, and then we could say like, what of these would make it still a sale of good for the question, and then list like if he had leased it, or if he had bailed it, or if he had gifted it, we could, and then just bought it, and just like.
Let's come up with our example first.
Right.
So what I think, just for the example, just the simplest is like sale of a good is like Bob buys gas at the gas station.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, just nice and simple. So and then the example of what is not Joe's grandma gives him
a sweater.
Gives him a sweater for Christmas.
Sounds good.
And then our next question can be, which of the following is an example of a sale of goods? And then A could be, I don't know, what do you guys think?
We can write one answer is like a gift, like we did for what's not an example. One answer could be
A service.
a weekly lawn service.
Yeah.
Someone mows your lawn every week. That's a service, so it's not a sale of goods.
Good one. Okay, then B. Trying to think. I don't know.
So leasing a car for the summer.
Okay. This is a lease, not a sale of a good. It could be, the next one could be our correct answer. Could be buying concert tickets, or buying tickets to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And this is a good And then B.
We could do a gift again, or a bailment, or a thievery item.
Let's do bailment, because obviously thievery is not, but bailment is like, that one's harder to understand. That could trip more people up.
Gave someone a truck to fix, or you could do something like historic painting to retouch or something.
Let's see. Restoring an old car for someone else.
Oh, then we'd have two car ones.
Hmm.
Um,
What do you think, Jenny?
you said, oh yeah, go ahead, Jenny.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't writing down.
Oh, you're good. Or
Sorry.
we're thinking of like a bailment, like if you were to work on something for someone, or like we almost did restoring a car, but we already have a car in there.
Nanny, like a daycare.
Hey, there you go.
Isn't that a service? You're not selling your child.
No.
Hiring a nanny is what she's getting at.
Yeah.
Isn't that still a service, though?
Yeah, we're talking about goods.
Right, but we already have one that's a service, a lawn service. Do you want to
So?
just, okay. That was just,
I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
okay. That was
It's
just
a good idea. We could do a nanny, or
So what about if we did like, you said you did one about a gun,
yeah,
so you need your gun re-blued.
you take your gun to a gunsmith for work.
Yeah.
Is that a real word? A gunsmith?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Let's see, the gunsmith is providing a. That's an example of bailment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can say it. I didn't read what a bailment was, and I'm guessing out of what you guys have said.
It's basically you give someone something for a limited time for a special purpose, such as fixing something or.
It'd be
That's
like
actually
your car to the mechanic, or like
Yeah.
to the gunsmith.
Yeah. You by repairing. I don't know. We might scare some. If this ends up in a quiz question, though, we might scare some people.
We could change it to a sword and a blacksmith, or a shield and a blacksmith.
Nah, come on.
If you're worried about scaring, shields are.
No, I don't. I don't care about scaring people. This is America.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Perfect. All right. So Jenny,
So our right answer is a C, right?
yes.
And our explanation of our example will be same as our example because there's nothing to do with we can explain about.
So underneath, the answer for A is a weekly lawn service. The explanation is this is a service, so it is not a sale of goods.
Right, but like for our example will be Bob buys gas at the gas station and Joe's grandma gives him a sweater for Christmas.
Oh, do we have to give an explanation of that?
Do we have to? I think that's like, I don't think we can go further than that.
We can.
We can.
Bob buys gas. I mean, he's purchasing a good that he needs for his car.
And we
He's
could say-
purchasing products that he needs for his car.
And the sweater is a gift, is basically all we have to say, not a good, or not a sale of a good.
So,
There was no money exchanged between Joe and his grandmother when he received the sweater, so it was not sold to him. I feel bad for Jenny. She's just super organized.
you're good.
So she types it.
can you repeat the explanation again? Just make sure.
For the first one, for Bob buys gas at the gas station, Bob is purchasing a product or good that he needs.
Okay.
So that's sale of goods. You ready for the next
And
one?
the second one.
So it says Joe's grandma gives him a sweater for Christmas. Just something along the lines of no money was exchanged between Joe and his grandmother. So no sale took place when he received the sweater.
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
Sweet.
All right. Do we have to do anything else, or is that it for this week?
I think that's for it this week.
Okay.
Yep.
So I turn on.